Okay, so I'm struggling sleeping, so I want to do a post out, and it's just been on my mind a lot. It's about Get Fit for Mental Health and where it started, and the difference between mental illnesses and mental health, and what I suffer from. Now, it's just a bit of background about me. So, I come from a big family. There's six of us, or there was six of us, and my father left, who was Spanish, when I was 4, to do his services, which I was led to believe in Spain, but never to return. My mum had real struggles. She was an alcoholic since from whenever I can remember. We had really a difficult upbringing in regards to schooling. We went to around 10 different schools all over. My mother couldn't really settle, which was really difficult for me, having an unusual name in the 80s. Got bullied a lot. I was very small. Didn't really have any identity, so every time we'd start school, I'd be bullied, and then we'd all start all over again once we moved schools, so never really got settled into anything or never had any friends. I'd probably just have like the one friend who wasn't thought very highly of as well. And then as a result of my mum being an alcoholic, she had many struggles, many suicide attempts, which led us to get put in care. And so while in care, I got abused, very difficult times, and we was quite beaten a lot because of my mum's struggles with things. I remember times with severe beatings with pokers and everything. And anyway, we as I've grown up, I watched my granddad. He was on when I was 11. He was like a father figure to me, the only thing that I ever looked up to. He actually had a stroke in front of me and later died. So that was a really difficult time. Still remember that really a lot now, and it gets to me now still. That's how much that affected me. And so when I was in my teens, my mother sent me to live with my uncle, who beat me a lot. He was a very violent man, to the extent of being starved, beaten with hammers, constantly, weekly things, and watching that and watching other people get beat as well. So when I was 17, I kind of tried getting out into my own world, into having relationships, which I really, really struggled with over the years. My mental health, as I got into my adulthood, had a lot of things that affected my mental health. Such as finding my friend hanging. I actually found him, and that was really difficult, leading to divorce, not seeing my children, then my little brother dying very suddenly, and then my little nephew, who just nearly was almost 1, died, and then my mother died on her bed, brain hemorrhage due to the alcohol. So she basically drunk herself to death. Yes, and the divorce and constantly splitting up. Now, I didn't help myself whatsoever in regards to dealing with any of it. I'm just going to read what my mental illness is. It's called Emotional Unstable Borderline Disorder, which is EUPD. Now, if you get 5 of them, you've probably got this condition. Now, first one, intensive fear of abandonment. Second, recurring feeling of emptiness. Third, a confused or unstable self-image. 5, sharp fluctuation between different moods, strong irritation, fear of depression that may last more than a few hours or days. 6, stormy relationships that swing between. 7, intense heated anger and disappropriate to whatever triggers it. 9. Short-lasting excessive suspicion or ideas of temporary feelings of attachment from reality. And an impulse that leads to the above: sex, drug addictions or money. And finally, thoughts of you might harm yourself, or suicidal thoughts, or talk about suicide. Now, obviously, if you look back, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? And let me just say this is my mental illness, but how it affected my mental health with what happened in my adult life with the losses and griefs. Now, usual people are used to able to deal with situations like that. I really struggled, which I went down alternative routes: drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex, you name it. I did it, anything not to cope with what was going on in the reality. So I never made my mental health any better. I never coped with my mental illness. There wasn't excuses. I just didn't know what was going on. When I got diagnosed with the mental illness, it kind of after all the failed relationships, it kind of made sense. So I thought that was that. Anyway, I still had really, really bad times, and I was still doing all the bad habits that I was doing, and really was struggling with things. It was just easier to do the drugs, alcohol, etc. Now, when I had a turning point of losing everything again, or when I had an accident last year, it was the point where I knew I had to change and what I had to change, and me cutting them lifestyle choices what I made changed my life and went into Get Fit for Mental Health, and changing my surroundings, changing my circles, changing my habits, and just setting goals and sticking to them. And that's when it all started changing. I came off antidepressants. I set goals: stop drinking alcohol, smoking, drugs, red meat, pork. Quite a number of things. All of these things kind of led into other bad things, which it took me a long time to learn, but that's what actually happened. So, the differences between a mental illness is created when we are younger, and that kind of wires up, so it's a little bit difficult to, cope with like normal situations, which is not an excuse. It just is what it is. And obviously, Get Fit for Mental Health has now I've cut all of them negative things. I've put that all of these addictions and faults into a positive way of fitness and helping others and cutting all these bad things out of my life, and it works. I don't need anything, antidepressants. The system failed me. I was supposed to get 20 sessions of psychotherapy, which I never got. 2 years waiting, so that's when I had to do something myself, which I did. Anyway, I just wanted to say a little bit about that, and obviously look into what's going to go on about the future and Get Fit for Mental Health. Thank you.